Hello.
Hey.
Dumpster chat number 5.
This is number 5.
Yeah.
No, last week was number 5.
No, last week was number 4.
Last week was number 3.
No, it was number 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was number 4?
Yeah, number 4, yeah.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
I had to burp.
Yeah. Everyone notice V's amazing hair.
Guys, I hate straight hair with a passion. I think it's ugly.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's bland. Like it has no personality. Not saying that people with straight hair don't have personality. I'm just saying V with straight hair doesn't have personality. It's just not me.
I don't agree, but...
T loves straight hair. He dies when I have straight hair.
Yes. I like it.
But I'm gonna curl this for all day.
Nice.
I'm just not crazy about the straight hair. It just doesn't really do anything for me. Like when your hair's like big and like wavy, like
fluffy.
Vava Voom. You know? You want to like fluff it up. When you leave, you're like, you know? That for me is such a vibe.
Yeah.
Like that just feels the best to me.
Yeah.
And when my hair's like this, a flat, I'm like, this is it.
It's literally a Sprite without fizziness.
Yeah, you might as well get a flat Coke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You might as well mix water into your Coke or something.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Queen's dead.
Yes.
If you can believe it, at the ripe age of 96, isn't it?
Yes. So, interesting development in London. So, anyway, what else is happening? Energy prices in Germany going through the roof. So, as a old German, find it very concerning. But I hope people actually realize that history literally repeats itself, at least in Germany, with like inflation happening just after the First World War, and after there was also like a big what is it called? Influenza wave? Pandemic, that's right. Many people don't know that, but like the Spanish flu happened around that time, and there was literally like nowadays with COVID, people for 2 years being in quarantine, and then right after inflation. So yeah, definitely see a pattern here. I hope that in 15 years we don't get a new Hitler.
I hope not.
Yeah, but that's usually when people feel being robbed, they then in turn justify their actions by robbing other people. Anyway,
that was devastating.
So yeah, what else happened last week?
Speaking of a new Hitler, last night I saw my friend, and and she just reminded me. Last night I saw my friend, and we were talking about so obviously I'm not like crazy religious, but I'm like I do believe like there's like a God, like I'm very spiritual. I love that kind of stuff. I enjoy praying, you know. That's like kind of my thing. And obviously I try to get T to do it with me, and it's not like I'm forcing him. He's also kind of spiritual.
Yes.
And so my friend and I, and you know, birds with the same feathers flock together, right? So obviously I have friends that are similar to me. So she's like actually really like religious, and she is Hindu, which is amazing. And we were like talking about it, and she was telling me about how they have these like how do you say? So they believe in reincarnation, and they believe that there are in the world there are 4 eras, And the first two eras have happened already, and in each era, they teach the world a new lesson. So in the first era, it was the lesson of putting family first. In the second era, it was the lesson of friendship. And the third era is the era of sin, and that's the era we're in. So apparently, she was saying that she was watching like this show or like some kind of podcast or something where they were interviewing like a religious Hindu figure. Like, I'm not sure what this position is called, but I'm just gonna say a priest or whatever similar to that. He was like on this talk show, and he was like super well known, like really well versed in like religious studies and stuff, and they were asking him about this kind of thing, and they were like, oh, okay, so we're in the third era, the era of like sin and stuff. How long until the end of this era, which for us would be the end of the world, because in the next era you're just reincarnated and there's like a fresh set of people. That's right, yeah. So they were like, when is the end of the world? And he's like, well, actually, we're in the very first quarter of this era. And he's like, this era gets like really, really ugly because... And I really feel like that's where the world's headed. It's
Definitely,
kind of, you can kind of feel this ugliness kind of rearing its head. It's like, you know, when you have a pimple and it's not on your face yet, but you can feel it underneath.
Yeah.
It's kind of sore over there. Like, you know what I mean?
Kind of creating like this little...
Yeah. And you feel it, but you're like, I have to wait until it rears its head before I can do anything about it.
The threshold is not reached yet.
Yeah, so that's where I think we're at. And he was saying, like, you know... we're in that first quarter, so obviously we're going to be long dead before this era is over, which is, thank God. I don't want to be here for the last day. And like he was saying about how we're going to stop being able to grow vegetation soon, and like we're going to start running out of resources and stuff. And he's like, eventually it's going to get to the point where without vegetation, animals and stuff will die, and without animals, we're gonna turn to each other for food. And he's like, it's gonna end up in like to the point where we become like cannibals to survive, and like it's supposed to be like. And I was telling her, I was like, fuck, man, like I really am so happy that we're gonna die before this happens, because I grew up in an Islamic household, and I think all of these like religions kind of have a really similar foundation. So we have the same thing where like the world is going to end, and my dad always used to tell me growing up that good people will die and the worst people will be here for the last day. Yeah. Which I think is true. Yeah. That will be the ugliest time to be alive, you know. And so that's apparently what's going to happen. And I just thought that was really interesting when, I don't know why, when T said Hitler, I was like, kind of reminded me of what she was saying.
So, interestingly, how long does one of those episodes actually last?
Like an era?
What is an era?
What are you talking about?
As in, you said...
Until the end of the world type of thing.
No, you said there's like 4...
Eras.
Yeah.
It's like a lifetime.
Like, what is a lifetime?
Like thousands, like millions of years.
Okay.
Like the beginning of the earth to the end.
Alright, so like, basically diminishes. It's reincarnated.
Yeah, into the new world. You know how we said that the next world is going to be, you know, because eventually Earth will no longer exist. And then it's all going to start all over again. Right. And that's when that'll be the next era. And there are apparently 5 eras or something. 4 or 5, I don't know. Yeah.
So basically all of humanity is sin.
Yeah, this era is the lesson. There is a lesson to every era, she says. And at the end, on Judgment Day, whatever you perceive that to be, they're going to send down one of their gods. And he's going to be like, this is what you guys have done wrong. And then the world will end, type of thing. So he'll teach his lesson and end the chapter, type of thing.
And then you restart with that new skill tree.
Yeah.
And then what is the 4th one?
I don't know. We never got to that part because it took us hours to even get through that first chunk of conversation.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I guess I was hoping it's just for like 100 years and then.
Are you joking? No, it's an entire like Big Bang theory theory. Yeah, it's like from the Big Bang to the end of the world until until we cease to exist type of thing. And then things start fresh again. You know, new life is birthed and fucking, I don't know if the Big Bang, will it happen again?
There's some different theories nowadays where they even say the Big Bang didn't even happen.
Yeah, well, there's a lot, yeah. I wonder when we're actually going to get to the middle of that.
Yeah, I'm curious about that as well. I still believe that we are living in this sphere of our dimension, and we basically, I think we came into this reality with like a lot of energy, and since then it's just becoming more chaotic and used up, and now it's all kind of melting together until everything is so, I would say, cold. Or if all the energy is used up and then we drop to the next plane where it's then maybe like a 2D, I don't know.
Ew.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
How gross.
But if you think about it, for example, your hearing, you only hear between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz.
Yeah.
That's like a hearing range, but there's still noise
outside of that.
Outside of that spectrum, you know. And why shouldn't that be different with our universe, you know? That we're literally in a bubble of our spectrum that we can perceive.
It's kind of like, you know, when we watch The Good Place, and the demon was saying how, oh yeah, you guys can't see, we see in the 8th dimension.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
So he's like, there's a lot more going on.
Yeah, that's right. And so maybe what will happen is maybe the universe doesn't even die, and maybe every now and then something from a higher dimension just keeps on dropping into this space, you know, and it kind of replenishes this energy pool, you know.
Maybe.
Because there's so many things going on that we don't even understand, you know. You have like black holes, and then you also have white holes, and it's true.
I'm just being immature.
But it's true, you know.
Holes of every color and size, guys.
Yeah. And then there's also the whole thing, yeah.
Sorry, fuck. I can't hide it. I'm immature, you know.
Yeah, that's okay.
I have to laugh.
Yeah, no, then there's like so many things that you wouldn't understand. It's like an ant would try to understand what it means to have a mortgage, you know.
That was so good. No, for real.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
And for us, it's like
it's like beyond our comprehension.
Apropos mortgage, I guess now with the rate rises happening again,
we ourselves don't understand what it is to have one.
But honestly, I'm glad we don't have a mortgage, because everyone with a mortgage is literally getting popped.
Royally fucked, yeah.
Popped. Imagine you took out a loan at like 0% interest or 1% interest, and you already live paycheck to paycheck, and now this gets more and more.
Yeah.
And then you maybe even lose your job because your company itself is struggling, you know.
There's a lot of homes that are going on sale now.
Not just homes, businesses. It's just tragic.
Ugly.
Tragic.
Speaking of homes, T and I are moving, or we want to at least.
We want to move.
But the thing is, the place we're in right now, first of all, we had an argument about this, like
back in the day.
2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Remember I had a fat one?
Yeah, I guess I am.
Well, there were underlying issues that made that worse, but we had like an argument about my standards being too high.
Yeah.
And like T was like, you want to live beyond our means.
Yeah. I had to give it a bit of a reality check.
Yes, okay. And I have been checked, but I still want a nice home. And the thing, you can find a nice one. We had the same argument before we moved to this apartment. Obviously, I'm not going to show our apartment, but if I did, you guys would be like, it's so pretty. It's beautiful. We have the kitchen. Guys, let's just, come on. I don't even need to show you, you know. Like, and before we moved here, T had the same argument with me. I'm living beyond my means, our means, and like, we're not going to find a nice place. But it literally took weeks, but we found one. That's really nice.
Yeah, it will take weeks again, but
and I'm down.
Yeah.
I will do, because looking for weeks, months, I don't care. The thing is, we have to live there for years.
But will we be able to? Because every year they increase rent, and you don't get something like a unlimited mortgage where you negotiate a price and then
that would be nice though.
Every year, $50 more expensive per week, something like that.
No, and it's a lot, yeah. But I'm like, I really think we can find a cute place.
I think we can find a new place. I just think every year it will be more and more time that you have to spend
looking
to get like at least the same standard,
It's true.
And like how much longer can you keep up that sort of rat race? I would say.
But won't rent drop because there's a bit of a recession coming?
I hope so.
Next year it'll drop. We'll find a really cute place.
Yeah.
We'll be there for a year and then we'll move again.
The problem that I see with Australia now is they now really pushing for migrants to come to Australia, and I think the effect of the real estate crash will be negated by new people coming to Australia, So even though the prices maybe go down, they will go up again because more and more people need to find a place to rent. And places to rent, I believe, are becoming less and less because you only can get places to rent if you get people to build new homes.
That's true.
And right now they don't want to build new homes because the interest rates kept
quite
rising.
high, yeah.
That's the thing.
I guess we'll see. We were actually supposed to see a place today.
Yeah.
It was really cute. Should I say the area?
Yeah, you can say the area.
So it was in Carlingford, and so we're kind of in that vicinity as well. Because my issue is we can actually find something really pretty in the price range that will meet my standard or whatever. But then I, on top of all of this, don't want to leave. I don't want to move too far out.
Yeah, it's a bit challenging.
Yeah, and I know what I am. I know I'm being difficult, but that's what I want. So.
Yeah. Babe has standards. I guess I can't blame her because I'm the same when it comes to like how I want to do my work. I only want to do it on a certain type of device.
Yeah.
And I cannot settle for anything less.
And for me, it's like, this is my passion, is up my home, Yeah.
The only problem that I have is that with rent money, you never get it back, It's lost.
It's gone.
It's lost money.
Yeah.
So I would totally be fine to rather buy a place.
T would be I said that we can buy a place. You just said that you don't want to because of the interest rates.
Yeah, and also because I want to wait maybe another year. Anyway, so yeah. Mortgage rates go up.
Oh, we were supposed to go to Carlingford and look at like a home there.
Yeah.
But and we were really hyped, because this hit all of my
boxes.
T doesn't have any boxes.
I just want to.
He just wants to be able to get to work.
I can sleep in a car with Wi-Fi. With Wi-Fi and a power plug. That's all I need.
Yeah, it's true. But, I have a certain standard. And also, I like having my friends and family at our home.
Yeah, when I said it in sleep in a car, I guess insert this one meme, where it's like a really nice apartment, but all that's in there is like a TV on a juice box and then like one of those camping chairs,
Yeah.
And then
I remember that.
The Texas guys really believe it's okay to live like that.
And that's
it's me.
T.
Yeah.
And he tried to take me down with him. He was like, hey, look at the world I'm in. I was like, no thanks.
I want my knickknacks.
Yeah, I was like, first of all, come back up the steps. We don't need to be there.
Yeah.
And I love where we are. Like, it's so, like, literally every time I come home, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Like, coming home after work is such a fucking treat. Let me tell you right now. I love coming home. Our home is beautiful. I need to poop. I'm okay with going to the bathroom because it's nice. It's nice in there. I have these little plants, you know, it's really nice. It's kind of a nice environment to do your thing in. Yeah. You know, you want to shower. Some places I've lived in, I shower and I feel dirty. You can't. Come on. You know, like these kind of things, they add up. They build tension, you know?
They do, yeah.
And, like, I just know that we're going to be happy in a nice home. I just know it.
Yeah, it's just, I wish there would be something where you can just get, like, a 5-year rental deal.
Would be amazing, yeah.
And you have the guarantee they're not going to raise the prices for at least 5 years, you know?
Yeah. Or at least 2 years.
Like, 1 year...
Even 2 years, guys, would be really nice.
But the thing is, because of the laws, they can increase rent every 1 year.
Babe, I think we could convince them not to. Here, at least.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's only possible if you have, like, private renters. But nowadays, everything is via some sort of big corporations.
It's true.
And they have, like, machine learning algorithms that are specifically designed to get the most out of their properties. So you have literally no leeway because you cannot negotiate with a machine, you know? You can really only negotiate with people.
Anyway, so we were supposed to go to this place in Carlingford. And, like... It was really cute. I loved it. The apartment was almost perfect. Like, the bedrooms had carpeting, but the rest of the house, timber. So nice. Bathrooms, tiles. Nice, clean, modern-ish bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like a secure complex area, so there's no outside people that can just, like, walk in. Yeah. Which is really nice, makes me feel comfortable if T's not home or something. Yeah. Like, a lot of older buildings, there is nothing. You just walk up the stairs. There's no door, nothing. There's no lock, there's no key. You just walk in. I hate that. I would feel fucking scared, man. You know? Like, what if T's not here for a night? What am I gonna do? You know, I'll just feel anxious. Like, stuff like that's really important to me as well. Then it had everything, and then we kind of, before we went, we always kind of scope out what's near, like what's happening. It was not it, guys. Nope. It was one road away. It was like adjoining road. It was on an adjoining road to the Cumberland Highway.
So for people that don't know where the Cumberland Highway is, it's like how many lanes? 6-lane highway?
I don't know.
It was a 4-lane highway that was joining a 6-lane highway next to a 2-lane highway, a 2-lane street. And opposite of it was a power plant, what is it, merging station?
Yeah, transitioning
station, yeah, where... Yeah. So, I guess...
And then it also had these ending train tracks as well.
Yeah, like...
where trains go to die and everything. Yeah.
Basically a decommissioned train station, I believe.
Yeah.
And that just sucks on so many levels.
Yeah. And my thing is, I don't really use public transport as much. And if I do, I have a car. I'll just drive to, like, Epping Station or something and park, you know? But T...
I need it.
Yeah. T, like, most of the time, I need my car to get to work.
And I just want to be in a place where it's not traffic from 3 angles. It was literally, we were almost like a traffic island.
No, yeah. Anytime you try to leave your house, there'll be traffic.
And it's just loud and noisy, and the pollution, you know, it just sucks, man. Anyway, so yeah, we keep on looking. Yeah, I hope we're gonna get lucky. I hope if we go to a real estate agent, they're gonna give us some good advice.
I hope so.
The one thing I'm betting on is, you know, because right now we always only look on domain. And when a listing made it onto domain, then I assume nobody actually wanted it when they looked over it, you know?
So where do we look then?
No, that's why I'm saying we go straight to a real estate agent, because they are the ones who actually put it onto domain. And before they put it onto domain, they maybe just want to give it some people because you know, maybe they have like a couple of places where they say,
no, you're right.
Oh, their lease is gonna expire soon. If you want, we can check it out.
When I was moving out,
yeah.
my dad owns like a couple properties and he rents them out, so he is always in contact with like the agencies and stuff. And it's true, when I was moving out, my dad was helping me find an apartment that was closer to my parents. It didn't work out in the end, but when we were looking, you go to them and it's different to the listings that they have on the website.
Yeah.
And like they printed it out and it was like a thick booklet. Full of listings. Most of them weren't it, but you know, my point is that there are options there that aren't listed online yet.
Yeah.
And
they usually know once some of the contracts expire, you know.
Yeah.
And before they have to list it on all just sites, it costs a lot of money to put it out there, you know. So obviously, why wouldn't they save those couple $100 and just try to get someone before that, you know?
No, literally. So I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Anyway, so we also wanted to talk about something else. We want to talk about our MBTIs.
Guys, last time I did an MBTI, besides the time that we're going to talk about, was when I was in high school and we were talking about what careers we wanted to do. And when you're trying to have like a career day, they make you take these MBTIs to find out what kind of career would suit your personality. At our school.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah, they used to do that at our school, and it was actually really cool. Too bad none of my careers were anything but dead ends. I got all of the fucking, you should be an artsy fartsy, you know what I mean? So I was like, cool, yeah, I'll just go into teaching.
Where dreams go to die, literally.
No, but literally, like, all of my options were like, oh, you should do all of these, try these dead-end jobs. And I was like, okay, because creatives don't have a lot of actual conventional careers.
The problem with creatives is they have to prove that what they create is actually going to work, because very rarely is someone that is creative actually someone that repeats what has already been done.
Yeah.
And you can only prove if something is working when you already have the data that it's working, you know?
And also you have to prove that it holds value.
Yeah. And I think that's the dilemma with many creative people. They are literally at the mercy of what they can provide in the future.
I was at work the other day and I do like pretty much everything, and I was talking to my boss and I put up this range in our store that for some reason we weren't putting up, and I just thought it was such a beautiful range, so I just did it because I felt like I wanted to. And he comes down and he's like, what is that? You didn't ask me before you put that up. And I was like, no one really tells me what to do. They just kind of let me do whatever for the most part, you know? As long as like I generally do something good for the store. Yeah. So, or like the business or whatever. And so I kind of have like some kind of freedom in what goes up, what comes down. So I was just doing what I normally do. And he was like, why'd you put that up? You didn't ask me. And I was like, I never ask you. That's just not a thing. And he was like, well, we need to take that down. And I was like, why? Guys, it was really cute. It was like colorful, beautiful pastelized colors, nice packaging. And I was like, great, this will sell. So I just put it up, and my boss comes down and he's like, that has to come down because it doesn't sell. And I was just fucking shook. And I was like telling him, I was like, I really think it's a cute range though. I mean, and he's like, but would you buy it? And I was like, well, I wouldn't buy it, but I think it's a nice range. And he's like, that's the thing. You're not the only one that thinks it's a nice range. That's what everybody thinks when they walk past it to grab what they really want. Yeah.
Well, but then he kind of had a point though.
Yeah, then I forgot my point. So that was what I was trying to say, is that it's not necessarily something that's good that holds value. So he was like, this brand in particular was having issues with selling, so they hired the top of everything to kind of mitigate their losses and like find out what's going to sell, what colors they need to use, what, you know, all of that kind of shit, all of that color theory, psychological, whatever the fuck. Yeah. And they did all of that. They applied it to their products and they didn't sell. And he was like, the issue is the public chooses what's valuable. And good quality doesn't always mean high value in the eye of the public. And yeah, so I think that was a really interesting lesson. And he's like, so you just have to be really he's like, you shouldn't always focus on quality this, studies that, but you should more focus on what are people gravitating towards, you know, regardless of how much that costs, or regardless of whether or not that's worse quality than what you were initially going for, because it's not up to you. At the end of the day, it's up to them.
Yeah, but then again, you know, you also wanna have an experiment every now and then, you know, and I guess that's the tragedy with creative people, because they are not very often given the chance to actually experiment, you know.
Yeah, because I think there's like that
with
fear
the market,
of
you know?
like failure, right?
Yeah, there's the fear of wasting resources, you know. I mean, if you think about it, from like all the movies that are coming out that are actually true and unique and new, I would say 9 out of 10 fail, you know. But no, it's
true.
It's true.
We watched that 9.
I mean, House of Dragon, am I right?
We watched every episode.
The first 3. Like, I mean, they made us watch, right? But I would never buy that.
T and I were like watching House of Dragons.
Yeah.
We love Game of Thrones. Yes, I fucking love that show. Yeah. Iconic. Yeah. Obviously, the last season was a tragedy.
Yeah.
Absolute fucking tragedy. So yeah. I actually watched Game of Thrones a while ago. Yeah. And then I met T, realized he didn't watch any shows. He only watched movies. And so I start begging him to watch shows with me every once in a while. Yeah. And I just knew he'd like Game of Thrones because he's a nerd. And nerds love this shit. They eat it up, you know?
I guess so, yeah.
And
but I'm not that kind of nerd. I'm more like a sci-fi nerd, not really.
I was just gonna say, he likes sci-fi, and I was like, this is fantasy, kind of similar, you know? It has that like wishy-washy vibe. Yeah. And so, and he likes all of this like medieval stuff.
I don't really like this medieval stuff.
I thought he did.
No, I like sci-fi stuff. I like.
Well, I know you like sci-fi, but we watched a lot of those kind of movies, like 300. You introduced that to me. You said it was really good.
Yeah, that's.
You watched Gladiators. You liked both of those movies, medievally, right? Historical-ish.
I actually made her watch that, but that was just because of the violence a little bit.
Well, there you go. This was violent and rapey and everything, so it was perfect.
Not really the rapey part.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah, but that's
you know,
not
any kind of historical thing has that thing, but that's how you know there's going to be violence, you know.
Like, I would say I actually appreciate the fighting scenes. It kind of makes you feel nice as a guy, you know. Like, yeah, when you see this King Leonidas, we're like, this is Sparta, and then
he runs off into the sunset. We're all his friends.
That's what you wanted
Him and the boys.
Yeah, all just wearing shorts. Am I right?
Literally.
Like going to the what is it called?
What, going out for lunch?
To the hot springs. That's where they meet with Xerxes.
But anyway.
And then almost 100,000 people died magically.
Quite a boys' night.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted T to like watch Game of Thrones because I really, really loved it. I binged the whole thing by myself, which is what I do with every show. And so T said no to me for about like 2 months. Yeah, 3 months. There you go. But sometimes he'll just say no, and then one day he'll have a moment of weakness, and that's when I pounce.
That's when, yeah, always.
I'm always ready, by the way. There's never a moment when I don't.
She always probes, and then when she sends us one little opening,
I go in.
Yeah, she's a killer. That's why she's a salesperson. She's a killer, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, she doesn't want it this week, but she might want it next week.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's how I did it with T.
Yeah.
And I was right. We started watching it, and he was fucking hooked. You were hooked. We watched it religiously every night for like 4 hours. I was exhausted. I used to beg him to stop. It was crazy. And it was a good show. It was produced really well. I loved the characters. I loved the actors. I really vibed with that whole thing. And there aren't that many things that T and I watched that we're both really excited about. This was one of those things, though.
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously this was my second time watching it, but I like it. I like rewatching stuff. It's comforting. So, like, we did all of that. We got to the last season, and I said, I don't want to watch the last season. I heard it was horrible, and I just can't stomach ruining the show. But T convinced me that he wanted to see how shit it was for himself and make that decision himself. So I was like, okay. We got through about, like, 10 minutes of the first episode.
Yeah, we got for 10 minutes, and then I just put on a highlight reel on YouTube that basically encapsulates the gist of all the episodes of the last season, and then I was satisfied.
It was shit. I just couldn't do it. I
couldn't. Some of the things.
Even the dialogue was just.
And
terrible.
now you have the new season, and it feels like.
It feels like the last season of the last show.
It feels like the last season got a budget cut kind of thing. Yeah.
Because in the last season of Game of Thrones, they had a lot to live up to. But in this new one, they're like, let's just start at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe it will become. Maybe it will.
Won't.
But then amount of marketing that I threw at that
everywhere.
thing. It was on the fucking buses.
Yes, it's on buses. We saw it before.
Yeah.
It came out when we went in the airport.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it? Where was it?
Melbourne. No, Sydney.
No, where on the airport did we saw it?
After we got through security.
And whenever they put that much advertising on something, they know it's shit, and they really just hope to attract at least enough schmucks to hit the ratings. Really, this time they only were going to attract people like us who'd watched Game of Thrones, loved it, and would love the prequel. That's why I also think marketing is overrated, honestly, you know? If something is good, it'll
sell itself.
Yeah, people recommend it, they want to learn more about it, people do blogs voluntarily, just to show how awesome it is, or that they want to share with their friends, you know? Nowadays, marketing, if you have to market your product, it's not good enough, that's just the way it is. Or it's so hidden that you really have to get the word out there, kind of thing, you know? But even then, it's always better if you...
But you know what? That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's good, people will like it. Like, today I got...
same.
Today I got a Brazilian blowout. Actually, T told me to talk about this before, but I was like, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
Because it just seems trivial in comparison to everything that's happening.
Yeah, but a good anecdote.
Yeah, so like... Yeah, that's really the only reason it comes up. But... I got a Brazilian blowout, and if you're looking for an alternative to like permanently straightening your hair, keratin, you should do this. It's really nice. Brazilian, so I have really, you guys have seen it, my hair's like big, hard to manage, lots of frizz, lots of product, that kind of thing, and I just wanted a break from it. But I don't, anything to do with treating your hair, they're just like, we'll straighten your hair and it'll stay straight forever. I don't want straight hair, man. I'm happy with my curls. I like wavy hair. I think it's pretty. I don't need to kill that to feel better about myself, you know? Like, I like my hair big. It's like my personality, you know? It just suits me. And, like, so I was looking for something that'll help me with my frizz. But it's not going to take away my waves, you know? And that's when I found, like, Brazilian blowouts. And I had no idea it was a thing. But you can, like, tailor it to have it. Like, after I wash my hair, it'll be wavy. This is just to let it set for a bit. And, like... So, the point of the story is that it's in an industrial area. This salon is located in like this industrial place surrounded by fucking construction and shit. And there was literally nothing there but offices and big companies. You know how they have like those
company parks.
Yeah. And
industrial parks.
Yeah, exactly. There's no parking. There's fucking nothing there. But if you go on Google and you look up their store, they have almost 5 stars and they have over 500 reviews on Google, which is a lot.
Yep.
And people fucking love this salon. Also, this salon, can I just say, is nothing to brag about. It looks almost crusty. You know what I mean? You walk in and you're like, what the fuck? You know? But, like...
And if the guy tries to hook up with the people.
Okay, that's a separate thing.
Yeah.
But, like, I walk in, the guy initially is, like, really nice, really friendly, and gives you, like, this genuine vibe.
Yeah.
You don't feel like he's faking being nice to you.
Yeah.
Which is nice, obviously. And, like, you can just tell. That's why this place has good reviews. You know? That's why. It's because, like, the service is good. What he does is good. He does a good fucking job.
Yeah.
And right now, it doesn't look like I have a lot of hair. I have a lot of hair. Like, a lot. And he, like, didn't charge me extra, which most places charge me, like, double to do my hair and stuff. But no, he wasn't like that at all. Like, he was fine. I had a really good experience. I didn't have the best experience.
I guess it was good until it got weird.
Yeah, it was amazing until it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What is the saying? It is what it is till it isn't.
That's right, yeah. And cute puppies.
Guys! He had a little pupper, and, like, the pupper was so sweet. Yeah. He wants cuddles, he wants pets, he wants to hang out, he wants to chat. He just sits next to your little toes. Yeah, with his little cone on. Yeah. And he was thirsty, so he would try to drink the water and he'd knock it over with his cone. It was very sweet. Yeah.
Poor little pup.
Yeah, very sweet. And then he was tired. He was exhausted by knocking the water over. He crawled up onto the sofa and had a nap. And I was like, that's the life I want.
Also, if anyone is into getting their baby hairs licked, that's the place for you.
Well, now that she's made so many comments, I have to explain.
Yeah.
Because, so I go in and everything's fine. He's, like, really nice, really, like, chill, genuine, like, and I am someone who can talk to anyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's
not hard for me. I'll just keep talking. It's not a big deal. And, like, I love talking to people. That's my thing, you know? So, I especially love talking to, like, hairdressers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just fun. Like, they have the best stories. So I'm, like, kind of excited. I'm like, he probably has the best stories. So we're, like, chatting and stuff, you know, normal thing. Like, he's washing my hair. I sit down. He's applying treatment, blah, blah, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's cool. I'm having a good time. I'm glad everything's going well. I look at my hair. It looks amazing. I'm happy. And suddenly he's like to me, he's like, oh, like some girls, you know, they get their baby hairs lasered off. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I know a lot of girls that want to get their baby hairs lasered off. And I always thought it was crazy. Don't laser off your baby hairs. They look sweet. They look cute. They look natural. And when you grow older, you know, you're going to have a receding hairline and it's going to start at your baby hairs, you know? So, like, he was like, yeah, and I always tell him that's crazy and I don't like it. It's just not very feminine. And I was like, okay, it's getting a bit weird, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, this is his opinion.
Yeah.
This is how he feels. He's passionate. Good on him, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, whatever. If this is how he feels, yeah, stand by it. Doesn't bother me at all, you know? I was like, yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I wouldn't get mine lasered off either. And then we were talking about how Kim K got hers lasered and she regrets it and stuff. And he's like, yeah, she should, blah, 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 right? Everything's fine. And then he was like, oh, if I had a girl, I would lick her baby hairs. And I was like thrown off. I was like, how out of pocket can a comment be?
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, if I had a girl, I would lick her baby hairs. And I was like, weird, but okay.
Yeah.
I was like, it's fine, you know,
Yeah,
some people lick toes, some people lick baby hairs.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, whatever, don't care. And I was like, I just didn't say anything. I was like, okay. I just laughed. And then I was like, whatever. And then he's like, he really just tries to top off what he said. And he's like, I would lick your baby hairs, but you're married. I mean, why?
I mean, you know, it's still his opinion, you know, but like...
But there's like a time and a place, you know?
Yeah.
Tell your dog at home, you know, that there's this girl, I wish I could have licked her baby hairs.
Yeah.
Or like tell your friends, call your mom about it.
Yeah.
But don't tell me.
Yeah.
And I'm like he said, I'm married. It's inappropriate.
Yeah, like...
You know, and I'm also in a position where I don't want to make him mad. He's doing my hair.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you maybe need him in the future, you know?
Yeah, I'm probably going to need him to do this again if I like it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't be making this man angry.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, he said that and I just didn't say anything. Whenever people say shit like this, I just ignore it. I'm like, whatever. I'm acting like that didn't happen and I'm moving on with the conversation.
That's probably also how Harvey Weinstein get his girls. When he's like, you know, oh, you think I can be an actor? And he's like, yeah, I got like this role, you know, and everything is fluffy. And then he's like, I kind of want to lick your toes, you know?
I don't know what your baby has.
Yeah.
No, literally, it was really weird, and I was like, okay, whatever. We were almost done, so I didn't give a fuck. I only had like a good half hour left. And so he's just like making weird comments, and then after like a minute after that, where I go back to talking about my husband, like any girl knows that feeling. You just want to talk about your partner. That's just like a thing. You just like to talk about it. It's cute. You're excited. Like he does lots of things for you. You want to like share that excitement with someone. And like, so I was like talking about T. And I was like, yeah, and he does this and we're going to do that, you know? And then I told him how T is German. And he was like, oh, so like T's like a different ethnicity to you. And I was like, yeah, he's German. I was like, it was crazy, but for my parents, but they love him now, you know? And he was like, yeah, that's cool. He's like, if I had a girlfriend, I'd want her to be a different ethnicity to me. He was white. I was like, boy, please.
You know, it's one of those things where it's not obvious, but underlying...
You can feel it.
You just know something is off.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it's one of those things where if I say this to someone, they're like, maybe he's just talking in general.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not one of those girls. I'm not the kind of girl that gets groomed and played, you know? I know when someone's saying something out of pocket and I clock it, you know? And you just have to remind yourself, it doesn't matter what other people say, what you hear and how you feel, it's validated. That's your gut telling you something's not right.
Straight up.
You know?
Straight up.
And I always trust that. I'm like, okay, something's not right. He's saying something out of pocket. He's saying something that makes me feel weird. That's justified. You know? And it doesn't mean you have to be mean. It doesn't mean you have to start something. It's just something to note. Like something you should know for yourself. Yeah. Like if he ever does something, I'm aware type of thing. You know? Like I'm not an idiot. That kind of thing. But yeah, he was just kind of weird. Towards the end, everything got weird. And then... when he said that, I just was like, when he was like, oh yeah, like I would date a different ethnicity, I was like, well, for me, it's like opposites attracted. Like for me, T was really different to me, and that kind of was what brought me to him, you know. And then I just kept reminding him, you know, I am a man, you know. And like, I don't know, for me that's like kind of comforting, you know, to be like, yeah, I have someone, he's gonna beat your ass if you move too much to the left, you know. Yeah. And like, everything's fine, whatever. And like, I'm pretty sure he got the hint, but I don't know, because at the end, I was like, what kind of shampoo do I use? And he was like telling me, like normal, you know, like if you do any kind of keratin or like hair building treatment, you have to avoid using sulfates or sodium chloride because that breaks down the treatment in your hair. So it won't last as long. So I was like, what kind of, is there like a specific one I need to use? He's like, no, as long as it's like sulfate free and stuff, it's not a big deal. And when I asked him that, he was like, sulfate free is good, sodium chloride free is the best. And I didn't hear sodium, I only heard chloride because someone was using a hair dryer, obviously, so it was like noisy. And I was like, oh, chloride? I was like, chloride free? What is that? And he's like, no, and he grabs my shoulder and he's like, sodium chloride. And I was like, ew. And like, you know, like, I'm sure every girl knows what this is, but you know when you kind of jerk away when someone touches you? I did that just to be like, that's a no-no. And I think he got it because he stepped back pretty quick after that.
In general, I can understand you attracted to someone and you want to play the game kind of thing, you know, want to see where it goes. And even if someone says, oh, they're in a relationship, I can understand that people, they maybe just really get challenged by that, you know. It's like, oh, she actually has someone, so she must be good then, kind of thing, you know. But in the end, you know, it's just creepy, you know. And I mean, like, what are you trying to accomplish, you know? Like, even if you were to hook up with my wife, then what do you want to do after? Just discard her, you know? Do you want to marry her, you know? Like, for some people, it's literally, they just want to get another distraction in their life, another one to pump and dump, if you want, you know? And then this whole thing is just so sad because there's no underlying happiness that you create for yourself or for the other people involved, you know? All you really do is just satisfying urges or chasing after urges, you know? Also,
on an unrelated note, just objectively, if you're trying to be really manly, I'm sorry, but hairdresser isn't the role. I'm sorry. It just isn't. You know? Hairdressing does not make you masculine. It just doesn't. It just softens you a lot. You know, in a weird way.
It's because I can imagine a lot of his clients are women and maybe some of them are insecure. That's why they do all those beauty procedures. And he literally can sniff them out, I guess. And then he can latch on to that. The same way how every now and then you have a pedo becoming a priest. And
Ew.
But it's the truth, you know? I mean, there's so many, like, what people desire, they will create opportunity for them to be exposed to that, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, this guy, in my books, he's a creep. I mean, there's probably a range of creep, and he is somewhere on that. Maybe even if it's on the lower spectrum, but I mean, at the same time, V also was only there for like maybe 2-3 hours. What happens after?
I was literally there for 1.5 hours.
Yeah, you know, and then that's literally 3 red flags right there. So in my books, he's a creep, and he obviously puts himself in a place where he has a lot of targets, I would say. And with targets, I mean women, and maybe some of them are insecure, you know. And they gobble it up, you know, because then they feel shy, they don't want to offend someone, you know, and then they let him do the touch and all this stuff. Obviously that doesn't work with V because she knows she stands her ground if she has to. But I just find it so fucked up, you know. Like,
yeah, no, exactly. Like, people like this will always prey on vulnerable people.
Yeah.
And being insecure is a vulnerability.
Straight up.
It's like a liability.
Straight up.
In saying that, I get insecure. I'm not like fucking superwoman. But I have to say I'm quite a confident person, I think.
I think in general you're quite confident.
Yeah, especially when I'm outside by myself, I will fake it. Because my mum always tells me, you know, people prey on the weak, and a sign of weakness is when someone lacks confidence.
Straight up.
So always walk around, you know, back straight, shoulders back, none of that weak shit. Look strong, you know.
Exactly. And trust your gut.
Yeah, look, you're strong, trust your gut, especially as a woman. You're more vulnerable than men are. So you have to put yourself first, regardless of what people say on the internet. Women are equal, blah blah. that's fine. But in reality, you have to look after yourself better than that, you know? You can't just because people are saying you're equal doesn't mean you're perceived that way.
In reality, a man will win a fist fight 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah. I would get my ass beat by this guy, 100%.
Yeah.
And like, but my thing is, like, lower your chances, you know? When someone sees, oh, she's gonna put up a fight versus she's not going to put up a fight, who are they gonna pick?
Yeah.
The easier target, you know?
Straight up.
So, yeah, even if I'm feeling insecure, I don't really show it. And I don't know if that's healthy advice. Maybe...
Don't take advice from us. Just
do your thing.
Draw your own conclusion out of our anecdotes.
Yeah.
No medical advice here.
No, exactly. We have our own problems.
We literally have our own problems. Yes. Who are we, right?
No,
like,
no, actually.
I show you how to build this house, and you know everything is shaking.
No, literally, I'm like, these are the foundations.
Don't worry, it shakes every now and then when the wind blows.
But it's been up for the past 20 years. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's worked for me. I moved out. I lived on my own. These are my tips. You know, you have to be confident.
Yeah. Straight up, and always put up a fight.
Yeah. If
there's a.
Yeah, you have to act like you're really gonna do it.
Yeah.
You have to act like if somebody fucks with me, I'm really gonna put up a fight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight for my life.
Yeah.
People aren't gonna try as hard then, you know.
That's true.
Because there's always gonna be someone who is weaker.
Yeah.
You know, there's always gonna be someone who's gonna fight less.
Real mood killer for some rapists.
Yeah. Literally.
Like, oh.
He's like, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, don't be too docile, you know?
Yeah. Probably not the best topic to joke about, honestly.
No, it's not.
But yeah, I guess the humor overshadows the trauma.
It's just to lighten how ugly the topic is.
That's right.
Yeah, but pretty much, yeah, we're skirting around being sexually assaulted, you know? You have to be strong.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut. If you, like, for him, I got weird vibes, you know? So you just have to be, like, on top of it, I guess.
Yeah. As soon as you get weird vibes, remove yourself from the situation as soon as you can.
Yeah, and for me, that was after he finished my hair. But, you know, you can assess how bad it is. He's harmless. I knew he wouldn't do anything, you know what I mean?
But I mean, it's just not nice making people weirded out, you know?
I know, man, and I'm fucking sitting there for 1.5 hours. I have to just take it.
Yeah. You can go anyway, you know? And then where do you go with a half-finished head, you know? You might as well shave the first...
And you know what? It's gonna be like that for months. I have to stay.
Yeah, you know?
Oh my god.
And he knows that. He's like, you can't do anything.
He's like, you're not the first and you won't be the last.
Yeah. Get ready for some baby hair licking.
No, it was such a weird thing to say. Like, he must really have a thing for baby hairs. I've never heard anyone say that before. That sounds like a kink thing.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I reckon that's a kink thing.
I think I know someone...
Who likes baby hairs?
No.
Oh. Well,
he went into a bar and one girl wanted to lick his eyeballs.
I could lick your eyeballs, I think. I'm very curious. I would like to see how that would feel. Would it be rubbery? Maybe smooth-ish, you know? Salty. It would be salty, yeah? I don't know. I've tried to nibble on his lashes, and I've done it. Twice. They're just like these soft little things, and they just sit there. And you know what my thing is? They think no one can touch them. Because they're like tucked away in the little eye. And I was like, I see you every day. And one day I took a fucking bite. Why not? Fluttering at me and shit.
Yeah, I blinked twice. If I blink twice, that means I need help. That's why
if he blinks twice, he's asking for it.
That's why we're Sunny still sitting.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love lashes. I think they're so soft and cute. I think like eyebrows are soft and cute. But yeah, licking eyeballs, I could do it. It wouldn't be a sexual gratification thing. It would be like, I wonder what that feels like. You know?
Curious.
Yeah.
Curiosity.
I would love.
Well, I guess, what else is there to say?
I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think we covered it for today.
Yeah. We never ended up getting back to
MBTI.
the MBTIs.
Maybe next time then.
Yeah, next time.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.
Later, sucker.